right? Get familiar with the dates. There were a lot of issues. There were website issues. There were OTP issues. People were not able to get in. What was round one? What was the review? Then there are a lot of questions about what is round two, what is round three, what's the difference, right? So there are 14,000 visas that are still remaining post round one. If you are flexible with the package, you're flexible with the flight, you're not able to cancel the refund request, and it became a big trouble. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Mabruk to all of those who were able to successfully purchase a Hajj package in round one. Alhamdulillah, we should pray and give thanks to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is a ni'mah, this is a big opportunity that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us. So now for those who have been able to secure a package, inshallah, start preparing, we start changing our life, start removing things from our life that we know we should not be doing. And for those who are not able to buy, there were a lot of issues. There were website issues, there were OTP issues, people were not able to get in to the system to begin with. And then there were quota challenges. Don't lose hope. Inshallah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accepts us, we can still go. There is still opportunity. There's round two, there's round three. So there is still a lot of hope, inshallah. And if we, inshallah, ask from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah will make it easy for us. So today we'll talk about some updates from round one, what happened in round one. Then we'll talk about round two and round three as well. So we'll review some stats. What was round one? What was the review? Then there are a lot of questions about what is round two, what is round three, what's the difference, who can participate in round one, who are two and three. So this we'll answer, inshallah. There are some refund questions that people have been asking, and then we'll try to comment on the login OTP issues that were noticed in the first round. So this is the timeline, right? Get familiar with the dates, understand how it works. So we have only been done with round one so far. Round one was custom packages. That means those packages that have a flight defined by the service provider already. Those group flights, it's already there. You couldn't pick and choose. You couldn't make your own flights. And this happened on February 9th. It started around 2 p.m. Makkah time. Now, the second round is for public packages. This time around, you will be able to buy packages, but they won't have a flight connected to it. You would be able to pick and choose a custom flight. It is still through Nusuk. You can't purchase your own flight outside of Nusuk. It will still be through Nusuk. But yeah, this is round two, and is expected to be on February 14th, which is the Friday, 2 p.m. Makkah time. Then after that, there is supposed to be a round three. And if there is any quota left over from the first two rounds, then that round three is for any leftover quota. And inshallah, we'll talk about this. Most likely, inshallah, there will be a round three. There are a lot of countries who end up not using the quota assigned to them. So inshallah, if Allah wills, and inshallah, that will happen on February 19th. We don't have the time yet. Right? And inshallah, once people have started purchase all the packaging, all the purchases have been completed, then so we'll start issuing visa more closer to Hajj time, and inshallah, we do Hajj. So with that timeline in mind, just understand the difference between the rounds a little bit better. There have been a lot of questions. People are confused about what those rounds mean. Round one, again, was custom packages only. It had only group flights. Round two is going to be for public packages, which will allow basically people from those countries that couldn't participate in round one because you didn't have a group flight already. Those countries can participate in round two. And then any leftover quota will be for round three, in which you can purchase either a public package or a custom package. It depends on two things. One is the quota available? And second is the package already full? So if the package is not already full, if the quota is still available, you can book a package. And now you might need to be a little bit more careful. For example, Al-Kabsh is expected to get sold out. There have been reports of about 15% of Al-Kabsh is still available right now. But you might need to be flexible with your package, with your flight, with your camp. And inshallah, if you are flexible, there is a good chance, inshallah, that you will be able to get it. So don't lose hope, inshallah. So just to understand what's happening, right? There are overall 34,000 visas approximately. And again, you hear different numbers, but there were around 34,000 visas overall assigned for Nusuk through these Nusuk countries. And there are about 126 countries, right, that are part of Nusuk, onboarded to Nusuk, and they are all basically part of this process. Round one happened. Round one was only custom packages. And in round one, basically about 4 hours in, notwithstanding all the issues with the website we faced, there was a sale Nusuk published saying that they were able to sell about 20,000 packages, right? 20,000 people. So basically, this is like total family members who were able to complete their package reservations within 4 hours. So within 4 hours of the round one opening, people were able to purchase packages across different countries. And I know there were a lot of issues as well. There were people who were not even able to get in. We'll talk about that, inshallah, later. But just to understand the process, what's happening. So that's 20,000 out of the 34,000 gone, right? And since then, there have been reports about 1,000 or two sold more. But yeah, just we'll take the 20,000 number just for understanding how this works. Now, this 20,000 number is gone from 34,000 visas that were issued and made available by Ministry of Hajj and Umrah. So now that means about 58% overall of the capacity is gone, right? It's booked. So unless there's cancellations, that capacity is gone. Then out of that, about 14,000 are still remaining, right? So there are 14,000 visas that are still remaining post round one. So just understand this a little bit better so that you know the scale of things, right? Approximately 34,000 visas will be able to be issued for all these countries. 20,000 visas already gone, about 14,000 left. It's actually a little bit less because every day more and more people since the day one are buying packages. But just to get an idea of how this works, maybe 1,000 or two less, right? So about 12,000 left approximately. Once you've understood this, now second, there is an overall visa limit of how many visas will get issued to these 126 countries. And then the second thing is there's also a country limit, right? So there are country level quotas. And what happened was for these 9 countries, the quota is now done, right? So for USA, Canada, Australia, Belgium, UK, France, Ireland, Netherlands, Norway, the quota was done. So for example, for USA, it's approximately about 3,500. So that 3,500 was gone in round one itself. So now, does that mean now people from USA will not be able to do Hajj this year? That's not the case. But so there is still opportunity, but you have to understand how this works, what will be available in round 2, what will be available in round 3. So you can understand, inshallah, and there is still opportunity to buy it. So don't get disheartened. A lot of people got frustrated with the website issues, and basically they got tired. They say, okay, we're not going to do it anymore, and abandoning the process. Don't do that, inshallah. Be positive. I know it's tough, and it's probably a little bit more, if when people say patience too many times, it gets annoying. But it is what it is basically what people say, right? Hajj before Hajj almost. This is a system, well, whatever the system is, this is what we have to deal with, right? So inshallah, please understand how it works and try to be positive so that, you can still try based on what's going to come. So round two is expected to be on February 14th, which is Friday, right? Yes, so Friday, about 2 p.m. Mecca time. Now, again, this can change, but again, this is expected to be. Now, only the countries who still have quotas left will be able to participate in round 2. That means if you are from those 9 countries, right, then you won't be able to participate in round 2 unless there are cancellations. So that's why periodically log in. There have been people who said that they were able to buy a package. Randomly, one package got available. And again, there's no guarantee. But basically, somebody went and canceled it. They booked a package, but say for whatever reason, it's not working out for them. They cancel the package. You go in and you happen to be logged in at that time when that capacity became available. Now you can. So basically, try every now and then, right? Now, for those countries who still have quota left, if you're not from those 9 countries, you still have capability to buy packages, because in round 1 you might not have been able to buy it, but now you have the chance where you'll go and select a package, which is a public package, and then you can select a custom flight. So in the custom flight, it's the Al Musafir portal, which is integrated through Nusuk. You will pick and choose the date and time. Be careful about the date and time. Be aware of when you are landing in Makkah and Medina. Make sure to understand the timings. Try to land at a time, which is exactly the same as your check-in day, right? Don't land in early. If you land in early and your package check-in starts the next day, for example, then you have to figure out hotel on your own for a day, which can be tough around Hajj time. But again, it is an option for those countries who still have quota left. So you will be using the leftover quota, right? So there is still quota left. Every country has a quota. So there is an overall quota, and then there is a country level quota. And there are countries who wouldn't be able to use all the quota assigned, right? For example, let's say Colombia, they have 100. Let's say they don't have 100 Hajis who are going for Hajj this year from there. And then that capacity will be made available in round 3. So approximately they said about 15% of Al-Kabsh are still available. So there is a decent chance for those countries who are part of round 2 to try and grab that. Now, there are going to be fewer people trying, right? The first round was the larger countries, these 9 countries, USA, UK, Canada. A lot of people usually try to go from there. So it was a lot of load. Now, this is going to be fewer people relatively. So hopefully, Nusuk will be able to handle this load. And inshallah, you'll have less issues. But this is round 2, right? So we want to be able to understand how this works. Next, after this is round 3. So what's going to happen, like I said earlier, every country who's not able to fulfill and use all the quota available from these Nusuk countries, any leftover quota will all be aggregated and said, okay, this is now globally available to all, go and buy. And at this time is expected to be on February 19th, right? So you want to still be ready, don't lose hope. You'll be able to buy public package or custom packages. And we'll talk about strategies, inshallah. But basically, the time it takes, you have already noticed how slow the website becomes. So time is of the essence. You want to go and quickly buy and purchase. So if a public package works, it's easier, it's already saved, versus you try to do a custom package and you try to select a flight, and that flight, let's say the price changed because it's a market price flight. Now, let's say you don't have enough in your wallet and you have to go top in. There's a lot of steps that can happen. So, but again, we'll talk about this. So for those countries whose quota is done right now, their package is all grayed out, you are not able to log in and you are not able to even view packages. You can, if you had URL saved of those packages that you like, you can still hit the URL directly that we showed earlier and go to those packages. Also, what happened last year was Minister of Hajj and Umrah, they added some more capacity at the end in the last year. Hopefully, we don't know this will happen again this year, but again, just for example, 3,500 was also the capacity last time for USA. And after round 3, about 10,000 people or so were able to buy packages, right? 10,000 people from the United States went for Hajj. So a good amount of capacity may be available in round 3. We don't necessarily know the exact numbers, and if we'll also get extra capacity this year too. But again, there is still chance, no reason to lose hope and get disheartened completely and abandon the process saying, Nusuk is too slow, too hard of a system, I'm not going to do this anymore. Don't do that, please. So just an example, again, this is not a projection, just to kind of explain how this process works. There are 34,000 visas, right? About 20,000 or so already got sold in round 1. Let's say if 9,000 got sold, right? And again, this is a hypothetical number. Let's say 9,000 packages get sold in round 2. So what will happen is about 29,000 packages get sold, visas get sold in round 1 and 2, right? So again, if you look at our graph, now if we count round in 1, 2 numbers, about 29,000, let's say visa. Again, this is hypothetical number. So if this happens, right, you still have this 5,000 visas left, and this 5,000 visas will now be made available to everybody in round 3. So when this round 3 happens, whoever logs in and grabs it from whichever country, first come, first serve, you get the visa. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah accept us. I want to go for Hajj. Allah accept it, make it easy for me. Inshallah, Allah will make it easy for us. And inshallah, hopefully we get some more quota as well. If that's the case, inshallah, it'll become easier. There were actually, just to kind of share from last year, there were packages left, there were visas left. After the 3rd round, it was not the most preferred packages. They might not be the most ideal packages, but when they closed, there were still some visas left, right? That was the scenario. So if you are flexible with the package, you're flexible with the flight, saying, okay, the flight is from New York, I live in New Jersey, or I live in Texas, and I'm willing to fly from Texas to New York on my own and grab this package, then those kind of flexibilities will basically make things easier. and inshallah improve the odds of you getting the package, inshallah. So this is just an example again, not exact numbers or projections. So now that we've understood how round 3 works, right, there's a lot of questions about refunds. Again, if you still have not bought a package, don't lose hope. Think carefully before requesting a refund. There is still a good chance of you getting a package. So, but if you go ahead and request it, right, it's not easy to cancel it. A lot of people requested it and then said, oh, this package is available to buy, but now this request of refund is still pending. They were not able to cancel the refund request, and it became a big trouble. You can try, you'll have to go to Nusuk support, and then they might not always be able to help. So be really careful before you request this. It'll not be easy to cancel it. And if there is a package available, you won't be able to buy. So again, the third round, again, there are fewer people in the third round to try. So hopefully the website issues will be even less. So be careful of all this before you consider refund. A lot of people getting frustrated are taking a decision that they might regret later on. So be really take this decision with a very cool mind, and understand the repercussions of what happens if you do. So there's an approval process. Like even if just because you requested it doesn't mean that it's going to get the refund right away. Nusuk has to approve it. And last year the approvals didn't start until a lot later, until all the rounds were done. So if you had not requested a refund, or requested a refund, either ways, they took their time to approve it, and you kind of was stuck in a limbo state anyways. Like I said, there were people who requested a refund, then saw a package available, but now they couldn't buy it because that money was locked until they couldn't use it. Another thing to consider is the refund fees, right? They are charging 2.3% processing fees and VAT. Hopefully you use a card which has 0 transaction fees like we recommended. We also potentially a card that was giving you some cash back, so which will help offset that refund fees. And also there's a new rule here this year talking about 14 days from top up. So they're looking at 14. They have not 100% shared how it will be implemented, how strictly it will be implemented, because again, you have multiple dates you might have topped up, which date is counted for each refund, how does it work? It's not, the details have not been shared yet, but the website does mention a 14-day rule saying if you requested within 14 days of topping up, there is less there's less charges. If it's after 14 days, it's more. But again, there's also a point of question about, can I use it next year? So the e-wallet could potentially be able to use next year as well. No guarantees. So as you know, the system can change. We don't necessarily have a formal confirmation, but that is a possibility going forward. So be really careful, right? Don't take a rash decision that you would regret later. Maybe do, if you're not sure, do istikhara, ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and whatever then comes in your mind, inshallah, then do that, inshallah. So let's talk about Nusuk issues. Now, unfortunately, a lot of these issues happened last year as well. So that's why it's a little bit unfortunate that it is not an unknown issue, right? This was a repeat. Some of these issues are a repeat of last year. Some of the issues were better. Like this year, what happened better was once you were able to log in, the website was very smooth. You were able to get in and do your transactions pretty quickly. What was a repeat was OTP not coming on time. This happened last year as well. So this was compounded a little bit by people getting a little bit frustrated, right? You request an OTP, you don't get it on time. You suppose there's a 5-minute window. So sometimes if you request multiple OTPs, so now even if you do get an email with the OTP, you don't know which request it was for, and then you use it, and then it is wrong. And if you use multiple times wrong OTPs, you're getting locked out. So again, some things to consider for round 2 and 3. Be a little patient with requesting OTPs. If you request multiple OTPs within the 5-minute window, then you wouldn't know which one was it for. Ideally scenario, right? You want to wait for that OTP to come. And if sometimes what happens, that OTP comes after 5 minutes, and that by that time it has already expired. So even if you try to use it, it won't work. But being able to kind of demarcate to say, yes, this request led to this OTP. So if you can wait a little bit before requesting another OTP, that way, sometimes your second request might come before the first one, and then you end up getting expired OTPs. So be careful about this. This extra requests from people also added more load on the system. So something to avoid. I know it can be frustrating, right? I mean, this is something that should work. So I'm not saying that necessarily people are at fault, but this is something just to understand. Okay, this is how the system works. If you're going to request, it's going to become hard for you. And people who have entered the OTP wrong multiple times, they got locked out and they said there's a ban period. You can't log in again for 30 minutes or so. So be careful about this in round 2 and 3. Now, there are about 34,000 quota. And again, just approximate numbers that we have heard is about 90,000 registrations came through. So even if, let's say, the website was working, all 90,000 people, if they would try to get the same time, not everybody's was going to get a package. So what is the solution, right? The solution, again, I'm sure Nusuk has heard this a lot, right? But we do need more quota, right? 34,000 is nearly not enough. 3,500, for example, for United States, from pre-Nusuk days, it used to be in the more than 10,000. So 3,500 is definitely very less. So I'm sure a lot of service providers have requested Nusuk and Ministry of Hajj and Umrah to increase the quota. We definitely need more quota. That will solve a lot of these problems, because if you are able to log in, there's no quota, you can't buy a package. I'm sure Nusuk paid whichever company made this website a lot of money, right? And this is fairly basic in these production systems, that if you know how many people are there, you should have tested and looked at, okay, if 90,000 people log in, how is my website going to handle it? There is cloud nowadays, you can auto scale. Just to give an example of Black Friday on Walmart and Amazon, they're big, large retailers, but still they get like millions of hits, and the websites continue to function. So they need to do better testing. They need to do better. And again, these are issues. Some of these issues, like ODP issues, happened last year too. So this is something that I was hoping they would have fixed, because this was known. What I am afraid might happen is that we look at that number saying 20,000 visas sold in 4 hours. And that might look like a big success, but people went through a lot of frustrating 4 hours, right? A lot of people were not able to get it. So just making the system a little bit easier to access, so it seems fair. A lot of people thought it was not fair that they were not even able to get in, and the quota and the visas got sold out. And it's fair to have that, right? And then we should give that feedback to Ministry of Hajj and Umrah, so that they know this is happening, right? It's not just the end state we look at to say, yes, we sold 20,000 visas, it's all good. But that 4 hours were very frustrating to a lot of people. So it's good to let them know. Inshallah, I'm sure they will take that feedback and make it improve. Like I said, it was better than last year in some ways. Like I said, if you are logged in, once you logged in last year, still the website was super slow, so you couldn't just click anywhere. This time, once you were able to log in, you were able to kind of move, purchase, look at. You did get signed out, by the way. That was another thing. You are randomly getting kicked out, but it might not seem like it, but it was slightly better than last year. But these issues should be able to address. Hopefully, the ID company that looks at this and works on this website handles this and looks at this. And maybe have a prioritization system. Like I said, if we don't have enough quota, there is more demand. There's a lot of demand. So if they have some kind of prioritization system, I'm just throwing out ideas. Feel free to add your comments in the video of what you think might be better, right? For example, people are early birds, right? People who registered in November, and they have been prepared for months now, and now they are not able to log in, and maybe somebody who came in later was able to log in. Again, it was from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So just things to think. I don't know. I'm just spitballing ideas. Maybe people who are going to Hajj for the first time get priority. Some kind of prioritization system versus a website that might or might not work, right? Would be good. Just taking away the frustration from all the people who want to go for Hajj and make life easy, which I'm sure Ministry of Hajj wants to do. And like I said, I'm sure they probably paid the people who made this website a lot of money. So inshallah, hopefully they fix these issues. But yeah, for people who are going to be trying round 2 and round 3, don't keep requesting OTP a lot of times. You'll get locked out. If you do it too many times, you get locked out. You can't access the website for an extra number of time. So it doesn't help anybody. And like I said, the website also gets loaded. It slows it further. So just things to keep in mind, inshallah. So hopefully this was helpful. Give your feedback, inshallah, in the comments. What is your thoughts? How this could be improved? And alhamdulillah, jazakallah for listening. Be sure to like and subscribe this video and give us feedback of what we can do to make this better, inshallah. Hopefully it was helpful. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.